Okay, welcome back. This is video 4 here. On video 4 I'm going to demonstrate the malfunctions and how to clear them. As I said in video 3, you'll have to kind of bear with me because we're going to be utilizing an unloaded weapon here because this is the People's Republic of Los Angeles County, and if I had a negligent discharge here I'd do 20 to life. Now if you go to one of the shooting academies and do them there, they'll have you do them with actual live round in the chamber and the magazine, and that's the way they should be done, but we're in the People's Republic here, so I can't do that. The only thing I will do for malfunction 3, I'm going to utilize I'm going to use an empty magazine to demonstrate malfunction 3 with, so that's the only exception. So without further ado, we'll get started with this. Now, the first one I'm going to demonstrate here is a type 1 malfunction. For a type 1 malfunction, you're right in the middle of a gunfight. I'll assume you're law enforcement or military because civilians don't have too many gunfights usually. Law enforcement, you're right in the middle of a gang fight with 10 gangbangers. All of a sudden you you press the trigger, you hear click. That's the loudest sound you'll ever hear in the middle of a gunfight. The heart stops, the adrenaline pumps. A bang is nothing, a click is terrible. What you do when that happens, the finger comes off the trigger immediately. All these malfunction clearances are done with the finger off the trigger because you don't want to be cycling and working the slide with the finger on the trigger. That's bad. You don't want a negligent discharge even in the middle of a gunfight. Okay, with the heel of your hand you tap the magazine here to seat the round. Roll the weapon over like this for gravity to assist in clearing the chamber. Rack it back like that. The empty one, the unused one, will fall out. Chamber a new round. Point right back in. Finger on the trigger. You point in with your finger on the trigger because you're in the middle of a gunfight, obviously. Now, perhaps you've heard the phrase from time to time, tap, rack, bang. That's not correct. You don't even want to think that. The decision to press the trigger always has to be an intellectual one as much as possible. You have to know what you're doing when you do that. That's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. So tap, rack, bang is just a big no-no. You might do something you're not supposed to do if you do that, like, you know, waste a civilian or something, and that's not good. So tap, rack, point in. Okay. Now a type 2 malfunction occurs when for some reason the brass doesn't fully eject and it gets caught partially up in the chamber. It gets caught high in the chamber. So when that happens, and the chamber will be partially open like that when that happens. So when that happens, once again, tap, finger off the trigger, tap, rack, roll it over and rack it, and that'll clear the spent cartridge, and then slide it forward, then point back in. That's how you clear a type 2 malfunction. Type 3 is a little more difficult, and here's where I use the here's where I'm going to use the magazine to demonstrate. Type 3 occurs when the round discharges but the ejector pin is broken or faulty and it doesn't pull it out. It doesn't even get started to pull it out. When that happens, what happens is, and notice the slide lock back because the magazine was in. When that happens is the round is still chambered. It fired, but it didn't eject it, and you have one low in the chamber here jammed right in behind it. So to clear that, what you have to do is you have to pull the magazine out. Now you can either pull it out and let it fall to the ground and put in a new one after you clear the malfunction. You can do that, or you can retain it with your little finger if you're any good and you practice these. After you do that, the rounds are still in there. It's 3 real hard racks. And these are hard racks because you're assuming the ejector pin is broken or malfunctioning. So it's push with the right hand, pull with the left, and really, really hard ones like that. After you get your 3 racks in, you clear the chamber right back in. And I only pull it back part of the way, because if I pull it back all the way, it would lock back. Now your weapon is loaded and ready to go again. So I've done that in about 5 minutes, so I think I've got enough time here to demonstrate this in real time here. And I'll set this up. I'll set this up and show you how it works in real life, I hope. Okay, this is a type 1 malfunction. This is what happens. You're in a gunfight, press the trigger, click, nothing happens. Tap, roll the gun over, rack, finger off the trigger also away, and point right back in. That's a type 1 malfunction. Here's a type 2 malfunction. Okay, for type 2 malfunction, the symptom is not, you don't hear a click, the symptom is a dead trigger because the brass gets caught in here. You press the trigger, nothing happens. You tilt the weapon back towards you to look and see what's going on here. When you tilt it back towards you, you look at it, you see that there's brass caught high in the chamber. So what you do then is tap, rack again, roll it over and pull the rack, pull the slide back so the spent case falls to the ground, release the slide, point right back in. Okay, that's type 2 malfunction. Type 3 is where you have brass low in the chamber. Type 3, once again, for the type 3 malfunction, you've got a dead trigger. There's nothing happens when you press the trigger. You tilt the weapon back and look to see what's happening. Finger comes off the trigger. You see the type 3, you see the brass low in the chamber. Take the magazine out. Either let it fall to the ground if you have another one. If you don't have another one, you retain it here in your little finger. And roll the weapon over. And 3 hard racks as I described them. And magazine back in, reload, point back in. Okay, that's the malfunctions, how they work, how the clearances work, and I've done all that in just about 8 minutes, so that'll conclude this video, and we'll get ready for video 5.